This is a podcast from the Angel News Network with author Joel Anastasi interviewing Adama, the father of mankind, and St Germain, the ascended master, guiding humanity during this new 2,000-year age which began in 2012. The channel is Phillip Elton Collins.
Greetings, beloved humans. We, the ascended master St Germain and the high priest Adama, come to you at this time of the founding and celebration of the United States of America. We come to you with messages of old and new for this nation and the entire world. All nations are divine expressions of creation, diversified revelations. But America, USA, is much more than many ever dreamed. America is a land of light, and nothing can prevent her spiritual awakening to be a land of the promise of that light. Once again, let us discuss why. The creation, destiny, and evolution of America, the heart of the world. Let us remember, America is the hope of humanity. It is the way shore for the rest of the world. The destiny of America reflects the oneness of the world. The land mass known as America has an ancient past beyond the imagination of most. There are older and many pyramids in America. In fact, there are more older and pyramids than anywhere else on the planet. Remember, the pyramids are symbols of Atlantis, who built most of them, and Egypt, where Atlantis founded. The Nile River means great river, and the Mississippi River and its branches are the largest river on earth, with many ancient civilizations being discovered along its banks. In many ways, dear ones, the so-called New World is the Old World, revealing so above, so below, and showing the ancient world is rooted in the America's landmass. Your past three presidential elections and a fourth one coming reveal the evolution and ascension are not always a straight line forward. Sometimes you need the thread of going backwards to gain a better perspective before you can advance. Now America's divine mission appears to be threatened by dark forces seeking to destroy the democratic foundation upon which the nation was founded. Let us again review some basics, preventing doubt, fear, and ignorance. America belongs to the higher realms. The higher realms of light, dear ones, and that helped us create you. Not just you, but we and you. You as Americans and we are the same. We're one, dear ones. What exactly does this mean? Unknown to most of you, we beloved forces have been working for humanity for eons, especially in the creation of America. What do you think inspired your founding fathers and mothers, those enlightened papers they wrote? Through our love and support, America is a gift to those who wish to be free, as we. Even though things are not perfect, you are the freest people in the world. And with new higher realm energies coming in often, this is about to shift even more. You see, dear ones, America belongs to we consciousness beings of light, not the dark forces that have attempted to control you for so long. The gift in all this is your awakening into freedom, whatever process you choose and however long it takes. Humanity as you know it first took form in the original land of light called Lemuria. Only a part of that physical world still exists in your western United States, and one of you, dear souls, was guided to live there now. It was Lemuria that your soul blueprint as a nation began through the direct connection and service to all there is. That unconditional, loving, energetic blueprint still exists within each of you through the central sun core of Mother Earth near Lemuria. So your American origin came from light and still belongs to it, and your genetic coding connection to previous light beings still exists within you. These forces are still guiding and supporting you in your ascension process now, even though you often lose sight of it. You have more love and support now than ever before. Can you receive it and apply it? But remember, you ultimately hold the key to your awakening and ascension. What is the most essential aspects of your reality? through your personal process, of course, dear ones, and the ascension process. It is being revealed all to you right now through something called God-powered governments, an authentic, transparent government filled with justice and equality for the people of the light. And that's you. That's what you need. But dear ones, the true freedom may seek comes from one place only. It comes from the conscious alignment with Source that is within you. Let us repeat. It comes from the conscious alignment with Source that is within you. So far, you have had man-made governments reflecting all your wounds and ego defenses. That must end, dear ones, if you want to advance forward. You may ask, why are we higher realms masters doing this message? Because we came from the people. We were once just like you. We now return to the light, and our mission is to guide you back to it again, and never again allow darkness to prevail. But we must honor your freedom of will and choice. Remember, your nation's soul plan came from light. We're the light, and we are one. Let us unite in oneness if you so choose. What is currently happening will pass as all things do, allowing divine order to resume. To prevent not going into the light, be careful to no longer give your power away to those who think they can rule you or control you. You will decide how to do this through your beingness of free will and choice. The divine souls involved in this endeavor choose to be and to do this. The phrase, we the people, came from the beings of light. Remember, America belongs to the light, who inspired for the people, by the people, dear ones. You can now, if you so choose, set yourself free by the innate light within you. Can you now demand and command that light to rule the land? God power, not the man power. The other vital knowns in all this, of course, as you well know, is love of self, allowing love of others and nations and the world. As you continue to challenge your democracy, this will strengthen your resolve, dear ones. Allow your divine light to hourly grow and expand through yourself, the nation, and the world. Let us repeat. As you continue to have challenges to your democracy, they can strengthen your resolve. Allow your divine light to hourly grow and expand through yourself, your nation, and the world. In spite of your dualistic and confrontational ways, which lie within all of you, we of the higher realms are ever ready to support your process with messages such as this one. As you make better choices, stop accepting wounded, unhealed authority outside yourselves, which have kept you in bondage so long. Let us repeat, dear ones. As you make better choices, stop accepting wounded, unhealed authority figures outside yourselves, which have kept you in bondage so long. Again, command and demand the light authority, the I am presence, the God governed within you. The lengthy struggle of humanity can be over if you only receive and accept the God power within you. Remember, Earth and you and we are actually one. So, much of your struggle and energy has not helped your ascension process and only created more lack and limitation. Examine how you use your energy. Does it always serve you or the highest good of others? Now embrace your inner light and power forevermore and stop the man-made separation forever. When you finally fully embrace your divine light, dear ones, almost instantly the barriers to equality and balance will fall like the Berlin Wall overnight. It is time to stop the destructive cycle that has controlled the nation far too long. Create a nation and a world free from all authority that is not fully from the divine light within each one of you. Remember, you cannot take separation duality into the ascension frequency. Your density is what is keeping you where you are now, dear ones. Once you fully connect to the light within, the mass, we consciousness of humanity can and still will shift. Can you accept with compassion and forgive the past and present? Is it merely how you choose to learn? Then you will be truly free forever, dear ones. There is no law in the universe that can enslave humanity. Only you can do this. to one another. Let us repeat. There is no law in the universe that can enslave humanity. Only you can do this to one another. Human manpower, dear ones, that authority is what has enslaved you, often by the manipulation of your genes of the past. The light within your God power is the freeing power of you. It has always been there, dear ones. If you so choose, it is time to be free from the many struggles within yourself and others. The higher realms continue to send our love and energy every single day, every moment. We can only do this so much as to not interfere with your free will and choices. There is life on many planets, but you're taught that is not so. This is another example of the isolation and separation process. The power of an awakened mind can overcome any man-made, fear-based belief systems, propaganda, or illusions, no matter how long they have been planted in your consciousness. Let us repeat. The power of an awakened mind can overcome any man-made, fear-based belief systems, propaganda, or illusions, no matter how long they have been implanted in your consciousness. Your spirits long for this, have been waiting for this to be set free. Are you ready to apply your light to do the work, your personal process, and join our efforts, moving manpower into God power? But remember, not everyone will evolve at the same, dear ones. Those that can't match your evolutionary ascension pace will show up in whatever format and at whatever time they need to. If you so choose, you can serve the light within you and radiate it out into the wounded world and be totally free at last. As long as you are in fear, you are being manipulated. As long as you are in fear, dear ones, you are being manipulated. Change your awareness and you return to your power. We envision a nation and world in which everyone can thrive, and the ideals of equality, justice, and liberation are a reality for all. Oftentimes, it takes the risk of losing something to realize how precious it is. You're in a time of shedding the layers of trauma, pain, ego, and fear. All your dense energies are being brought to light. This can be a very painful time as these systems are purged. This is the destruction of old programming and rebirth of the new you. This energetic disturbance are forcing you to root yourself deeper into love. After the shift, you will feel your vibration has been totally upgraded, dear ones. Dear ones, things are not getting worse. They're getting uncovered. Let us hold one another in the light and continue to pull back the veil. In reality, it does not matter what happens in your external 3D world. Release it. Release all attachments. Become free of it. All is in divine order. It is time for you to choose the frequency which you will reside. Let us repeat. It is time for you to choose the frequency within which you will reside. What is behind you is divine. What is in front of you is your destiny, dear ones. In closing, be the light during this time of challenge and the rest of your life. Remember, some of you are proxies for the nation. Some of you have been proxies for the world. We have a final question. What do you have to give to the nation and to the world through your talents and gifts? Finally, remember, by being the light, there's no need to fight. Finally, remember, by being the light, there's no need for the fight. Putting it all together in a larger perspective, dear ones, in your year 2023, the earth began a dimensional shift in creating a new earth. There will actually be two physical earths, but you won't notice. Which one of those will you choose to be upon? The new higher vibrational earth or the old dense one? How may we further help you with these wisdoms and your concerns at this time, dear ones?
Well, St. Germain and Adama, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
You have covered so much wonderful information in terms of America's mission to be the light of the world and what our early documents represented in terms of the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. And as you alluded to many times, we are confronted with the challenge of will America continue to be free and continue its mission to be the light of the world, or will it be invaded by darkness? You gave us a sense that the lightness will prevail as we look at this new election that's coming forward. What observation would you make about what Biden represents and what Trump represents in terms of what you just outlined?
It's all perfect, dear ones. All of it is a process. You cannot know the light without the dark. Through the darkness, you know the light. Can you see what this means?
Yes.
That it's all perfect, that it's all in divine order, that there is no right or wrong in the realms in which we reside. It's simply a process of how you are choosing at this point in your evolutionary process to learn and to advance or not. It is simply up to you.
Well, of course, I'm very much involved in the third dimension, and it's wonderful to have the perspective of the higher dimensions that you do, that it is all a process. We who are in the third dimension here see our freedoms being threatened in a new way. As some of our audience knows, that I, Joel Anastasi, and Phillip Collins, the channel, worked with St. Germain to create the refounding of America, which highlighted what our history was of America being the light of the world. We being challenged, that these freedoms were being challenged by Donald Trump, who we would look back at with gratitude because he's representing and fostering a clearing and a cleansing. As we face, I thought that we pretty much had the threat to democracy that Trump represented behind us when Biden won the election. But as we look at this new election coming up, we've seen our democracy seems to be threatened more than it was the last time. So it's helpful to see it as a process and of learning and opening to our godlike powers. But can you make another statement? You've already addressed it, but help us really understand what this moment represents.
Ascension and evolution is not a straight line forward, as you've heard many times. It's a spiral with convoluted twists and turns, depending upon the freedom of will and choice and the choices humanity makes. You're beginning to realize how precious your democracy is by having it threatened. It's sort of an example, as you can't know the light without the dark. And that is what is taking place. If it is your destiny to continue going forward, you shall. If it's not, you will take a momentary step backwards in order to gain more perspective, in order to move forward towards the light. But in the interim, no matter what decisions humanity makes going forward, which we cannot interfere with, it's all in divine order. Ultimately, the planet will return to light from whence it came. Ultimately, human beings upon the planet will make a choice to be a part of that process or to be elsewhere and take whatever time they need to do the same thing. The point is, it's really beyond humanity's knowledge. It's beyond humanity's awareness. And as we've discussed many times, the planet will evolve with or without humanity. But already there are many millions of you making a choice to be a part of that ascension process with Mother Earth.
Well, that perspective is really valuable because it's really hard to see that millions of us are really making that choice. In terms of those millions, you have said many times in the past that it will be the women in their attempt to restore the imbalance with the masculine energy, the feminine energy rebalancing with the masculine energy, and the youth of America that will move America forward towards the light. Would you make an observation about that and clarify that for us?
Yes, the choice is often within their judgment or the choices that they make. Many more young people are eligible to vote in this election than in previous ones. If the women of the nation choose to be able to control their bodies their reproductive rights, and other choices that they have in advance of that they have, they will vote for that. If not, it will be taken away from them further, and then they will have to regain it. So it's all a process of beyond right and wrong, beyond dark and light, all a divine order of ascension and evolution, and it's all perfect. That is the hardest part for the human mind to know. It is all perfect. But be of the phrase, dear ones, if you are in the light and of the light, it's not your fight. That doesn't mean you cannot have preferences and that you can work towards your preferences. But remember, for those of you who so choose, you're in the process of raising your vibrational rate and consciousness beyond the 3D world of your emotion, thoughts, and physicality. So if you immerse yourself into this fight, into who's right, who wins, who loses, then you remain dense. Do you understand?
Well, that was a very powerful, important statement that you made, because it's very easy to be drawn into all the conflict and so on. And when you made the statement, if you are in the light and of the light, it is not your fight. Boy, that's such an important teaching, and one that it's very easy to lose perspective of. Thank you for that statement.
Let it be your mantra. In the moments when you get sucked into the drama and the separation and the isolation of the 3D, dear ones, let it be your mantra. If you are of the light, if you are by the light, if you are the light, it's not your fight.
You have in the past...
But dear ones, many of you are evolving beyond this frequency. So look down upon it, almost like an idle body experience, and say to yourself, is that my fight? And I think you will find your answer. You will find your answer. Because if you are making a decision to evolve beyond this dense frequency that is not always of equality, harmony, and balance, that's filled with separation, confrontation, duality, many of you are no longer resonating with this, so you're creating individual lives where the higher realm principles are more in place. You have done that yourself, dear one. You have moved closer to the Lemurian core, to the Lemurian energy, who fought and were destroyed by a nation called Atlantis, who wished to control the world. And that was not their principle. That was not their way of sight. Right? It was live and let all evolve. So make your individual choices. And remember, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad within it. These are the hardest things for you to realize. And your media gets sucked into this because that's how they make their money. That's how they make their profits. It's not filled with positive news. It's filled with negative news because that sells in density. But in the higher realms, dear ones, that will not fly. You cannot take that density into the higher realms. It is simply not allowed. It will impede your progress completely. Does that help you?
Well, it does. The last thing I'm going to ask you about, just so that we leave our audience as empowered as we can, we've spent a considerable amount of time in the past talking about the tools of the I Am Presence and the Violet Flame. So can we simply just touch on those two tools so that we can leave with an empowered teaching?
They are your eternal essence. They are the core from which you originate. They are your divine essence. Use the phrase I am and then the sentence that follows it, and let it define who you are and why you're here. Use the frequency of the color violet, the highest frequency of the crown chakra, and allow it to balance all of your other chakras. Know that these tools are readily available to you, and they're easy to teach to others. They're not esoteric. They're not complicated. And know that all of the higher realms teaching have been to set you free from yourself, which has kept you trapped within the density far, far too long, dear ones. So as you enter the celebration of your country, remember from whence it came and the stimulation and the motivation of the higher realms that connected with your founding fathers and mothers and helped create this to free the planet from the tyranny of the past, of all the kingships and the governments that attempted to control and enslave the people. You cannot be enslaved by any law of the universe. You can only be enslaved by man-made laws. So know, dear ones, all is in divine order. You are being supported by the higher realms, and you are loved beyond your comprehension.
St. Germain and Adama, thank you for joining us today. And that message.
You're welcome.